Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is very exciting. This is episode 37 of ResortLoop.com. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
And this is the first show we've done together in quite some time.
I barely recognize your voice.
We're back together like Mike and Sully.
Who's that?
I don't know. I saw a post somewhere.
Well, I got to tell you, you, sir, the taskmaster that you are, forcing me to go to Walt Disney World for research.
I cracked the whip.
That was a little ridiculous. That was a little over the top.
Was it?
Yeah, it was so hard to go to Walt Disney World in that heat and it was very, very rough. But I will say this: thank you very much for pulling strings and getting me that room upgrade at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. That was very nice of you.
I know people.
You do know people. Can I just say?
Yes.
You're kind of a big deal.
No.
I'm throwing it out there. Yes,
Please.
I am.
No.
Speaking of my trip, I got some house cleaning stuff I'd like to throw out there since it's been a while. And
as you would say, absolutely.
Absolutely. So first off, I just want to thank everybody again for following along on Facebook and Twitter, all of our adventures down there over the week, and all the help. You know, it's very cool that you guys are helping everybody. I mean, we all help everybody out when they go down there, giving them tips and all of that stuff. So really appreciate it. That was very nice of everybody. As Tim has always said, this is all about participation. So we're big on the listener participation, and it really helped me on my trip. Secondly, I wanted to say that, and I forgot to mention this, we did participate. My son and I participated in the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom little adventure.
Awesome.
And it was kind of fun. It was a nice little break from the day, but not. If you're going to be there for a while, it's well worth it. If you're commando style going down there, I don't know if you're going to want to take the time to do it. One of the problems we ran into, just like with the Wi-Fi and the My Disney experience, it had issues. We did one of the lands. We did the Fantasy Land, and then we went over to do Frontierland, and the system crashed halfway through. So that was a little bit tough to deal with. You know, you're getting excited, you're running around the park, and then you got to stop.
Right.
So, and finally, I'd like to say thank you to our friends at Disney Chicago, who were kind enough, and I do truly appreciate and say kind enough to correct me, as did you. When I was talking about the baguettes. They weren't baguettes.
Right. Yes.
I do know now. Keep in mind, we've talked about this. I don't speak English. I speak American. And obviously...
You weren't even speaking that, though.
I was... you throw French in there, forget about it. I'm done. So they weren't baguettes that Michael Black was making. They were... You say it, because I can't say it.
Beignets.
Beignets. There you go. See, I just copy you. So, yeah, they were delicious. They're the powdered fried dough. It's goodness.
Yes,
they were awesome. So, Michael, thank you for the beignets, and I apologize for calling them something else in one of the past podcasts.
And Bob, the one you brought me home was you didn't. I'm sure it would have been fantastic.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
You have 4 people in a minivan driving home from Florida. There ain't no beignets making it home, my friend. We could have had the whole back filled with beignets. They're not coming back.
No.
Awesome. So thank you again, Michael Black, for meeting up with us down there, and the beignets. They were delicious, and thank you everybody for again following along and helping me out.
And from all the stories you told me, that just proves to me that our listeners are the best out there.
Oh, they're phenomenal. Are you kidding me? They are the best.
That's what I've been saying.
You have been saying it. I think you wrote it somewhere, didn't you?
I might have. I scribbled it down somewhere.
So what are we going to talk about today, Tim?
Well, today is something I believe it was our friend Norman Bates off Twitter suggested. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe his suggestion was a show on our pet peeves.
Yes, it was. And yes, you are correct. It was our buddy Norman Bates on the Twitter who said, after my rant about people stopping in the way on a past podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, he thought maybe that'd be a good idea. So you guys, we put it out there to all of you guys, and you came through once again, overwhelmingly. So we're going to knock some of these out, and then give the final tally as to what the top 5 pet peeves of you guys, our listeners, are. So, Tim, why don't you start us off?
I'm going to grab some off the Facebook here. I'm just going to we had such an overwhelming response. I'm not going to be able to read everybody, but we're going to get in who we can. Let's see. Our friend, Michael Black, his number 5. Hey, Michael, who we just mentioned, Mr. Beignet himself. Take a bow.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Michael.
Keep throwing that in my face. That's
okay.
Okay.
I will. It was fried dough.
I know.
Number 5 for Michael, getting to and from the Magic Kingdom. That could be a little difficult.
That is tough, yeah.
Number 4, as mentioned before, people who are walking in traffic and stop dead in their tracks without pulling to the side. High up on your list.
Way up on my list.
3, when walking in a crowd and people try to pass you as if there is somewhere to go that you haven't figured out yet. Like you're walking in circles is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Where should I go? And you're obviously going towards, an attraction. Let's just say it.
Well, yeah, and people cut you off. They're like zigzagging, and it's crazy. People are just crazy.
Yes, and his number 2 is one I didn't think of, but is brilliant. When people take a table to a quick service restaurant at the parks during peak times and read a book and aren't eating. So you're walking around carrying your tray, and dude's just sitting there, reading his magazine.
Yep. And usually, and we saw this, usually it's right at that prime table that maybe you're sitting there looking at the castle, or you're sitting where you've got just a beautiful view, but this guy's just hogging it for the whole day.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And his number 1, and I'll address this later because it's also on my list, getting a parade or fireworks spot 2 hours before and having people push in front of you when they start.
Ooh. Yeah.
Michael, you've nailed it on that one.
Yeah, I've got one that's going to kind of go along with the people at the table service.
Okay.
Quick service. I have Jordan Duncan who goes by Jordan Gasly on the Twitter.
Yes.
His top 5 are the long drive to Walt Disney World, which I don't mind the long drive getting there.
Right.
It's going home.
That's true. It seems twice as long, doesn't it?
Oh, man. Number 2, lack of Haunted Mansion merchandise. Really, all the merchandise. They need to step that up. Number 3, Star Wars weekends only during summer. They need some in the fall. I agree. That would be all right. Which I think they'll probably do something when they come out with that new movie.
Right.
And then 4 and 5 are the same. He says leaving Walt Disney World. That's just about on everybody's list, I would say. It sucks to leave.
All right, my turn?
Your turn.
Let's go with Mr. Keith Brown.
Hey, Keith.
Excellent.
Chef Keith.
Chef Keith, absolutely. His, let's see. Number 1 on his list is inconsiderate people with strollers.
Ooh.
But not just the single ones, the triple ones and the side-by-sides, because there's only one kid and the other 2 are for storage. Which I don't know if that's inconsiderate or brilliant.
Yeah, really.
Oh, my goodness.
My.
And then number 2, waiting for buses. And when there's only one, when there's only one person at a party is in a scooter, but the whole party gets to go ahead of everyone on the bus because there is a person with a scooter or ECV ahead of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. Number 3, for the mouse keepers, just because you don't see any kitty things in the room doesn't mean we don't like fun towel animals too.
That's right.
Who doesn't enjoy a good towel animal?
Everybody does.
I know
Those are
it.
cool. I don't know how they do it, but I think they're cool.
It's like some kind of like extended origami.
I get very upset with my wife when I, she makes the bed and there's no animal on the bed other than the dog.
Oh, my goodness. She can do a dog with cow animals?
No, the real dog.
Oh, that's not nearly as entertaining.
No.
Let's see. Number 4, people who have older children in harness leashes. You've seen kids up around 10 years old in them. I'm surprised my wife doesn't put me in a leash. I'm like, oh, look over here.
We're
I think
not
I see
even
a
going to go there. We're not even going to go there.
Oh, my. And for him, number 5, Starbucks taking over the Main Street Bakery.
Ooh,
That is controversial.
that is big, Keith. That's very big.
Someone had to say it. He pulled it out.
I got to be honest. I'm not a Starbucks guy. I don't like that dark roast. But that's just me.
I know.
Give me Kona coffee any day. You know that.
You like it smooth.
I do. And speaking of our buddy Norman Bates over on the Twitter, Alan, his top 5 are stopping in the middle of doorways and paths, running over his heels with strollers. There's those strollers again. This one's a big one. Flash photographers
Yes.
in those dark rides. I hate that too.
Oh.
People who wait to read the counter service menu when they get to the front of the line, despite the fact that they have been standing in line for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Read it, figure out what you want, so that when it's your turn, make it quick.
You don't even have to read. Look at the pictures.
Really? It never looks like that when you get it, but
No, it's a suggestion.
and finally, number 5, large groups of people that insist on walking side by side, regardless of the width of the pathway.
Yes.
Yeah, we ran into a couple of those.
Oh, did you take them out?
No. they would hurt me.
Oh, let's see. I have Rebecca Ann Phillips Toon off Facebook. She starts off with number 1, parents not willing to leave the parks for a bit when their child clearly needs a break.
Oh, we saw that a lot.
Don't you see that a lot? Aren't you surprised?
And especially in the heat.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my. I got to tell you this real quick.
Yes.
We're at Animal Kingdom. We're walking through Dinosaur, heading, of course, to Expedition Everest to get our fast passes. The Finding Nemo show is the doors are open. There's nobody there. They usher us in. We walk in. We pick whatever seat we want. It was phenomenal. Anyway, we watch the show. We get done with the show. Now, keep in mind, this is 9 o'clock in the morning. We're walking out of the show, and my wife overhears a kid go, "Okay, can we go home now?" Because it was so hot.
Yeah, right. Number 2 from Rebecca Ann Phillips. We'll go back a couple. She goes, parents who arrive late and push their child in front of me 5 minutes before the parades or the fireworks start.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh.
I know. Number 3, not being able to walk up to a nice table service any longer. You're forced to plan to where you want to eat 6 months from now, Bob. Where do you want to eat? Tell me.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And number 4 is people who will not proceed to the end of the row. They tell you, move all the way. They even make a quick, cute little dance about it, and they emphasize the word all the way down.
Right.
And they stop halfway through.
Right. Well, they got to get their best seat.
Well, they should be properly tased. And number 5 is how fast her Grey Goose slushy will melt in the Florida sunshine.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything about the heat or the prices. So
right.
That one you might as well just not even put on the list because there's nothing we can do about those.
Let's see. I have Dana Gold. She lists a couple here. She talks about talking on the rides, especially the one who think it's cute to talk along with the audio.
Oh.
And she says, the Haunted Mansion is the worst for this.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with people.
I think they do it so many times that they just don't even they don't even think. They don't think about it.
Well, see, I think they think about it, and they think they've come up with a more clever script. And they think they're entertaining the people around them.
Yeah, they're not.
But when really, we just want to forcibly remove you from the ride.
Absolutely.
Or tether you to your Omni-Mover with like a ball gag in your mouth or a turkey leg stuffed in there.
Ooh, turkey leg.
Yeah,
That'd be a good way to go.
Well, there's worse ways to go. And then she reiterates the fact of flash photography, and light up phones and camera screens on the dark rides.
I noticed that a lot with the new smartphones and the light that reflects back on you.
Yep.
If you're standing right behind somebody that's trying to take a picture.
Okay, you need to stop because that's going to be one of my top 5.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Okay, I got Krista, who goes by BrownsFan317 on the Twitter.
Oh, she's from the 216.
Yes, she is. Go Browns.
Yeah.
She says absolutely at the top of the list are people who not only stop in the middle of walkways, but also take up significant walkway space. That goes along with those three wide strollers and all of that. Next would be those not prepared to pay at the register again, or have their tickets ready to enter the park.
How do you not have your tickets ready?
That's what she says. What are you doing while in line? Exactly. How about flash photography in the dark rides? Uggs drives me nuts. How about people who use strollers as weapons to cut in front of you? And she says, aren't you glad you didn't ask for more? I think we can go on and on with some of these.
Exactly. I think there are people who put cow catchers on the front of their strollers.
I'm just glad they don't put poison darts or spikes or something. My gosh, you could really take somebody out.
That's awesome. Do we have time for one more?
We've got time for quite a few more. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Okay. Our friend Hero Matt Hayes on Facebook says, people who complain about the prices of food. He's like, you know where you're going. Prepare yourself. And that is true.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You're not going to find a McChicken sandwich for $1 on any menu anywhere there.
It's expensive.
And then he goes on. He talks about another one that I'm going to bring up later, too. But, Hero Matt Hayes, he knows what I'm going to bring up here in a second because he brought it up as well.
You're not gonna divulge just yet.
No, but he knows what I'm thinking.
Well, I got our buddy from 1 Minute Disney Dream on the Twitter says people who stop in the middle of anywhere using an iPad as a camera. I didn't see that too much, but I've seen that at other places. So.
Right.
Long lines. Cell phone on a ride. Yeah, silence that thing if you're going on a ride. Exactly. And tour groups. He's not happy with the big groups that wander around. We didn't run into too much of that. Well, there were a few, but they didn't cause us too many issues.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Let's see. Ann Toledo Dunnington. Her top 5 are, when strollers run into your ankles. We've mentioned that one.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another one I didn't think of again, but it's so true. When people ask me, you're going to Walt Disney World again? Why? Isn't that for kids?
Oh, I hate that.
I know. You can't explain it to them. If they don't get it, they don't get it.
Right.
It's just there's so many levels to that.
Yep.
Our listeners get it. I'm not even going to go into it.
Exactly. We got the best listeners out there.
That's what we've been saying. And then number 3, she goes again, people who are walking and then come to a dead stop in their tracks.
Oh, yeah.
There's people who try to line jump, trying to meet up with their imaginary party at the front of the line.
We had that a few times. That's
Exactly. And my favorite one is the one where you go to say something and they all of a sudden they go, no hablo inglés. All I do, and then I just tell them to please stand clear of the doors in Spanish. And then they usually laugh. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there you go. Outstanding.
Let's see. Number 1, flash photography on the dark rides.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's
a
huge.
big one.
Yep.
That made our list. So, speaking of Disney Chicago, I got to throw a shout out for them since they were so kind to correct me. And please, anybody, feel free to correct me.
Absolutely.
And Tim usually does, but if he misses it, throw it out there. Disney Chicago goes very poorly behaved parents.
Oh yes.
I don't agree with number 2 on their list. It's a Small World song.
Oh,
I like it. I'm sorry. Number 3 is poorly behaved kids.
Right.
Then he has summer humidity and ever increasing ticket prices.
Those are a downer.
Yeah, you're not going to get away from either one of those 2 things.
No. Ellie Parker, she just brings out a couple here. She goes, having a loud conversation about something that everyone else can hear. She goes, it happens like Pirates and Splash Mountain and Haunted Mansion. Any of the quieter dark rides where you like to kind of hear what's going on.
Right.
With a really good soundtrack. Why do you want to hear people talking about what they're going to do for dinner?
Right.
And why aren't they paying attention to the ride they were waiting in line in? I don't get it.
I don't either. Somebody's going to get hurt. They're going to stick their hand outside the ride at some time and get hurt. That's what's going to happen.
Keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. Although I always have to touch the Pirates of the Caribbean water. I don't know what's wrong with me. I do. I have to dip a finger. Does that make me a bad person? It might. Let's keep going.
Can I give you 3 quick words there?
Yes.
Flesh-eating virus. I'm just going to throw that out.
Well, it's not like I've ever pulled back a bone.
You may. Oh my goodness.
I do not endorse that behavior, by the way. Anyway,
I've got one last one. This comes from Jam Beauty 89 on the Twitter. She says again, people that stop in the middle of the walkways. That was all in caps. She's really serious about that one,
and she should be.
She should be. The flippin' heat. Thank you. Thank you for keeping that clean. Having to stand when the buses are crowded. Now, I got something to say about that here in a minute.
Okay.
She started on a certain group, and I'm just gonna say tour groups. She's not thrilled with the tour groups. And then she says the fact that the Yeti isn't fixed completely. This kills me. I feel that one. It's better. It's not as bad as when our buddy Scott from Wisconsin was there, but it's still not right.
Ugh.
All right, so that is from our fantastic listeners. Go ahead and give us your top 5, Tim.
All top 5. Well, there's going to be some repeats here, of course.
Yes,
but as well there should be. Number 5 on my list goes kind of back to the misbehaving adults are guests who feel they're more entitled than other guests.
Oh, saw a lot of that.
Did you?
Yeah, in my own group. No.
For some reason, they think they paid a higher ticket price that day to get in, and that they deserve to either get here or get there. Just bothers me.
And get out of their way.
Number 4, we're just going back to the flash photography.
Yes.
Hate it. And here's another thing about the photography. The iPads, we touched on this. Those things are so bright.
Yes.
It's like opening that box in Pulp Fiction. It like illuminates them. You almost hear like a humming noise. And it like casts a orb around these people. I'm like, close it, turn it off. Get a regular, I don't know. That's just me.
I agree.
What was that, number 4?
That was number 4.
Number 4. Now, number 3. Now, this is just me. These are pet peeves, right?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, not everybody, a lot of people use the word rehab. I prefer the word refurb. Now, I was so upset by this, I actually looked it up. Rehab is actually, you could use it, but no. Use the word refurb. Things are like closed for refurbishment.
Okay, I couldn't get beignets, for goodness sakes. You want me to be that specific?
I mean, rehab, technically you could use it. I guess it's all right. It's just, like I said, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't know.
Well, every time I think of rehab, I think of, I don't know, Lindsay Lohan.
Exactly.
Maybe she's in the ride. Maybe she's fixing the ride.
Maybe she's on like a new Herbie ride.
She might be living out of the Herbie car that's over at Pop Century. I don't know. Oh.
Number 2. I'm going to number 2.
Yes.
The lack of use of deodorant.
Yes. That was that Michael's?
That was
Hero Matt Hayes. That was
there were a couple people that had the deodorant thing. I think we should be allowed to carry the spray deodorant. You know those like WD-40 straws that you put in something?
Yes.
From a distance, you should be able to like tag these people. I mean, you're helping people out. Is that wrong?
It may be part of some of the cues. They could just have, kind of like you put your hands up and you think it's just nice, cool air, but it's actually deodorant.
Like the water misters.
Yes. Yes.
Sneaks
like
up in there.
Cool.
Like you can get these wasping, killers that'll shoot from 40 feet. I'm thinking that's pretty good. Anyway, I'm sorry. And number 1, I've talked about this on previous shows. We talked about it earlier. People with a lack of courtesy at parades and fireworks.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
They stand in front of your kids. They'll stand in front of you holding your kids. Really?
Yep.
That's why security is at the front of the parks, to make sure you don't have a taser.
Yeah, it's that's so rough. It's because everybody wants to get that prime seat to see it or position on Main Street or wherever. That's why the very last day there, we were going to stay and watch Wishes and all of that. It was our last night. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? No. I said, come on, I can't take these crowds anymore. These are more people than I can deal with right now. We went over to the Polynesian. We found a spot on the beach. We just sat on the beach. The music's pumped into right onto the beach, and you can watch Wishes from the Poly. And it was the most relaxing, enjoyable fireworks display we've ever had.
That's a great way to do it. We did the Wishes Cruise once, and that was fantastic as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But, if this My Magic Plus thing and you can make reservations to see fireworks, that might be awesome.
I think that's going to be very, very cool. I hope they get that going here pretty soon. So, all right, my top 5.
Yes, that was mine. Let's hear yours.
Very similar. Similar. My number 5, though. Are you ready for this one? Because this happened to us quite a bit.
Oh.
We like going to the pool. We enjoy the pool.
You do.
But you can never find a seat at the pool.
Oh, that's true.
There are 6 people in the pool. There's 7 people around the pool. But every seat is taken with a towel.
Well, where could those people be?
I don't know. Explain this to me, Tim. You have all the answers.
You're not suggesting that they go down early in the morning, stake out a claim, and then leave?
And go to breakfast or go to the parks and then come back so they can have their nice seat right in front of the pool.
That would be wrong. They wouldn't do that.
No. That's number 5.
Okay.
Number 4. This is just me. This is me being old school. I'm an old, you know me. I'm a dinosaur. I believe that on a crowded monorail or a crowded bus, that men should stand and let the women sit.
Right.
We were on the monorail. Woman walks in. She's obviously pregnant. I stand up. Do any of the other 3 men, so-called men, that were sitting in the monorail start to stand up?
Do they?
Nope.
I suggest they're not men.
They turned away. They looked away. So they didn't have to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Very upset. So that's my number 4. Get off your butt and let a woman sit down or a child.
Yes.
Come on. They say it. It's right in the little thing. Help people. Number 3, no chance to get dining reservations. That killed us. We didn't have any ADRs, and the best we could do was at some of the resorts we could get into, but most of the restaurants there was no way. One of them that we have always eaten at and never had a problem was Sci-Fi, and we couldn't get in Sci-Fi.
Wow, get out.
Yeah, so pretty crazy. Never saw the dining that crazy before. So I don't know. Maybe the 180 days out is just too much. It's too far out.
I feel bad for harassing you about beignets. You deserve those beignets.
Let me tell you something, though. I will say this. The counter service is getting phenomenal. And maybe that's because they have to.
That's true.
But we had some of the best meals at the Deluxe Resort counter service. And one of them being over at the Contemporary. And it escapes me the name of that one. But you're sitting right next to Chef Mickey's. So you feel like you're at Chef Mickey's. The monorail's going through. It was wonderful.
Oh, that was pretty good. We were there for breakfast once. That was really good.
Yeah, it is good. So anyway, so number 2, I'm with everybody. The flash photography on the dark ride. Stop doing that. And of course, my number 1, which I've ranted about before, is stopping in the middle of everywhere. The walkways, the doorways. Just move to the side. Move to the side,
please.
So that being said, our tally. This was you guys. This was all the listeners and their top 5. I put it in the big Resort Loop data mining that the government's been looking at. and these are your top 5. Number 5, people who wait until they are in the front of the line to decide what they want or get their tickets out. So, and that includes. Your fast passes. Don't wait. You're getting there.
Right.
Come on. Figure out what you want. Number 4, we're strollers of pain. People using those strollers to take other people out or jockey for better position.
Stop using strollers as a weapon.
Yes, not cool. Number 3, poorly behaved parents and adults. So I kind of combined those two. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people just not very kind,
not considerate
to their fellow Disney visitor. Number 2, of course, flash in the dark. Mm-hmm. Stop doing that. And number 1 was by far. I mean that was more than any of them. Stopping in walkways and doorways and not letting other people pass. So.
Exactly. I will say, if you stop suddenly and you get hit by a stroller, it's not the stroller's fault.
That's right.
So just keep that in mind. If you're walking a little slow and they nip you because they're not looking, that happens all the time. But if you stop all of a sudden, I'm just saying.
So are you saying I should just rent a stroller even though I don't have kids in strollers just to make a point?
Yes. Plus, it's a place to put your drink.
and all of our stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. We appreciate Norman Bates for suggesting that.
That was a great show idea.
That was a lot of fun. We've got some other good ones coming up that are going to be a little less negative.
Right. Well, we're normally half full. This time we went a little half empty.
Just a little bit. We're mixing it up. Man.
We're human.
We're mixing. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long day.
I just got done cutting the grass. I'm far from human right now.
And I keep thinking about that Grey Goose slushy. So,
but at any rate, great time. It's always even with all the stuff that everybody complains about, we complain about. It's still a lot of fun. You have those few moments of wanting to pull your hair out, but the rest of the time, it's just fantastic.
It is. Plus, it gives you stories for afterwards,
Yes. Real quick, I got two things I want to throw out there that things that we heard while we were down there. Just two. I told you about the kid wanting to go home as soon as at 9:00 in the morning.
Yes.
The other one was a dad walking with his kid into Epcot, and he said, "You want to go in the big ball? We'll go in the big ball." I always like that. And then another guy was on his cell phone in World Showcase, and he's yelling into his cell phone, "I'm on the other side of the world." So I don't know. He must have been talking to somebody in Hong Kong Disneyland, I guess.
Exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Only there could you hear that and make you laugh,
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So thank you, Tim, for such a difficult assignment, sending me to Walt Disney World for research.
It was my pleasure. Eventually, I'll try to send you on a cruise mission for a trip report on that.
You are such the taskmaster.
Someone's got to do it.
All right, man. That's all I got.
That's all I got as well. I think we should probably wrap up this show. Thank you for listening to ResortLoop.com. I'm Tim Scott. You can join me on Twitter at ResortLoop. Tim, you can follow us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/ResortLoop.
And don't forget, I'm Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter, and don't forget to rate us on iTunes and our website, ResortLoop.com.
And don't forget Stitcher. We're on there if you need to find us.
Stitcher. Oh, I always forget about Stitcher.
I know, I do too. I managed to remember it this time. We'll throw it out there.
Very good.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll catch you next time on ResortLoop.com, your gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody.
Would you like chicken or chicken?